Hi, Chris Fox, Fox Construction, Tailored Custom Homes. We're here because we're trying to get you as much information as you need to be able to make an informed decision and to be able to be in the home that you really love and enjoy. Hey everyone, Chris Fox, Fox Construction, Tailored Custom Homes. I'm here today with Patrick Ambrose, and he is a real estate agent in the area, and we are going to go over several questions to talk about the different real estate market, how it's going in 2026. And I'm going to start it off with, Patrick, you've worked with a wide range of buyers along 30A. How would you describe the buyer's mindset today compared to 5 years ago?
Wildly different.
I'm sure.
5 years ago there's a lot of emotion involved. People could work through the various different things from insurance to rental income, and now buyers just have to be intentional, deliberate. They have to ask the right questions. Sometimes properties aren't paying for themselves anymore.
How do they overcome that? Like, when properties aren't paying for themselves, what criteria would the buyer still continue to move forward with the process? What would need to happen if the house isn't 100% cash flow?
Well, they just have to be intentional with their purchase. Somebody buying a house right now their mindset is not to keep it for a year. What future is this going to give me? What lifestyle am I paying for? Is it, even though it doesn't pay for itself, how much is that lifestyle worth to somebody, and for the kids and their grandkids?
Okay, so it's more, people when they're buying them today, you're saying that it's more, not necessarily generational, but it's more long-term. They're looking at it a 5-10 year long investment, and they're gonna be able to come down and use it. Correct. That only works for somebody who's buying one of them. Are you seeing that people that were, for years, like I said, 5 years ago, they were coming up and buying 10 of them? So you're seeing that buyer is not doing as much, or are they still around, or?
They're still around. They don't have, 4 or 5 different condos. They might like more of that, I would say that property where generations can come to, and have the whole family in one. They might have had 3 then and only have 1 now. Whether it's simplifying the portfolio or, simplifying their life, not having to take care for 3 different properties. Okay. It's a big thing, so.
All right, when buyers say we want to build, what usually triggers that decision versus buying an existing home?
They don't want to renovate a property that could cost more than tearing it down and rebuilding it.
We've done that a couple times.
I have folks doing it right now where, looking at, okay, should we renovate a property? And it just makes more sense to actually tear the house down at that point and rebuild. Other times it's just a layout. If you're looking at an older property, the layout's a little bit different, doesn't work for the family, might not be a bedroom on the first floor. So why not just bite off a little bit more and take that 2 years and build the property that you want? Going back to the first question, this is not just a 2-year plan or a 1-year plan.
Right. It becomes a long-term game plan for them.
Exactly.
In your experience, what neighborhoods along 30A attract the most serious long-term buyers versus short-term investors?
Short-term investors are going to be more of the higher density areas.
Like watercolor, water sound, or?
Watercolor, water sound is a little bit different, I would say, because there is a good mix of, the amenities give you a lifestyle that is really conducive for people that are living here full time. But if you look at like Seacrest Beach, or where you're on very small lots, typically, you're not going to have a bedroom on the first floor, but you're going to have 3 stories and fit as many people in there as possible. But when you look at people being here long term, you can really just look at the size of the lot. And that's probably where a lot of people are going to be there long term, horizontal living. And, then that brings you to your Grayton Beach, your Blue Mountain Beach, your Watersound Camp Creeks, it allows you to live in that house versus it just being transactional for the most part.
Right, just being a rental.
Yeah.
What are buyers most often underestimating when they first look at coastal construction?
Time.
Time it takes for the permitting?
It's not a quick process. The cost, going from building in, say you're in the Midwest or wherever it may be, you can pretty much build with any material you want.
Right. And we have a little bit different restrictions out here.
A little bit different. So, and even when it comes to stormwater, and there's just time, it's more expensive, and it's,
Well, we've had plenty of experience with that. We've had builders come from Atlanta who say, "Oh, well, I can build a house for $75 a square foot in Atlanta. Why is it costing you $275 to build?" And I start explaining some of it. They're like, "Well, why is your lumber so expensive?" Well, the land that it's sitting on is more expensive. The gas is more expensive. The labor to deliver is more expensive. There's just parts and pieces of it that becomes a holistic. How when a buyer who is interested in building comes to you and you're able to unpack some of that stuff, how receptive to it are they? Because I know there's plenty of people that I've talked to that are like, well, how are you not making, piles of money? The lot's this and the cost of construction should be this, but you're charging this. Like, once you start unpacking, how accepting of that are they? Or is there still a lot of resistance like there is on the initial sticker shock as to what construction is?
There's always going to be sticker shock when it comes to that, but I think the way to overcome that is you're not just building a house in the middle of nowhere where you don't have anything to compare it against. And
Right.
If, say, you're building in Blue Mountain Beach and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's going to cost me $400 a foot or $350 or $300 or whatever to build." Well, you look and okay, you have comparables from, let's just say, $1.5 to $4.5 million. Okay, does it make sense to build it in the 3 years of that process? What's your equity going to be at the end of the day? And that kind of eliminates the sticker shock, I would say, for the most part.
Okay. How early do you think a builder should be involved in the buyer's decision and process, and why?
Well, I mean, if you have a good relationship before you even buy the lot,
Right. Right.
is if you're spending $500,000 to $1 million for a lot, you might not even know what you can put on it. All you have is a survey,
Right.
and you have no other idea. So, kind of before you buy the lot. Next best time would be before you even start to put any pen to paper on what you're going to build there.
Right. Like before the art, you're saying, so in your mind, getting the builder involved would be during your lot search.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're already past that, before or at least when they start talking to the architect or draftsman. So that would be the next time. Okay. From your side of the table, what separates a smooth construction or custom build transaction from a stressful one? From your side.
I'd just say probably alignment, where from being a realtor to dealing with, a builder and the buyer, it's if I don't know what's going on, the buyer might know what's going on too. And if you're not telling me anything, I can't be an asset to the buyer. And it's not a transactional business. You have to help them through every step of the way. And at times you're a translator, at times you're a mediator.
Right. Well, the builder called me and told me this. What does that really mean? I don't want to seem silly and ask him.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you.
Exactly. And I might not even know what you're talking about. You wanted $1,000 toilets in each bathroom.
Right.
But now you're a little over budget. Okay, we could talk through that. But alignment for sure on that.
Okay. How do zoning, setbacks, and local standards influence what buyers can realistically achieve on lots?
Everything. I mean, you can go from a neighborhood that has, 0 setbacks, lot lines. You can go to a neighborhood that has, 10, 15 foot side setbacks. You might be near a coastal dune lake where you can't even occupy the entire lot with your surface. So it could affect everything on what you build. You could go from thinking that you could build a 4,000 square foot, 2-story house to, now you're gonna have to go 3 stories because your footprint's smaller. And that completely changes the lifestyle for you in a house.
How much information do realtors offer each other through the MLS for those types of constraints? Because I know there's different subdivisions. The Pines is an example where they've got 15-foot side setbacks. You're talking about 0 setback lines. They have some of those in Alice Beach, some of those in watercolor. There's just different nuances. There's several subdivisions. Even Old Seagrove has 5-foot side setbacks. So there's all these different things. Most of the time, in my experience, the surveyor doesn't have. They've got a guess on there. They're not going back and researching covenants. They're making sure that the lot is exactly where it's supposed to be. So how much of that information gets relayed from the selling real estate agent to the buyer? Because I know in all the disclaimers it says, buyer to confirm everything. Of course, you can't rely on them to be 100% thorough. But how much of that information gets translated from the beginning that, is the easy side of it? Some, a lot?
Not much at all. I mean, really, if you have a survey, that's your ticket of what you need. It's not, it's not just marketed out there where you can put, I want a lot that has X, Y, and Z setbacks and, whatever the sort of ratio is. It's really just on your realtor to know that, okay, something in the Pines is you have a half acre, but you have 15-foot side setbacks. Or to know that, okay, if you're building in phase 1 of watercolor, you're building up to the lot line, stuff like that, where it's just experience and knowledge really based off of what that customer envisions to build. Okay. That really dictates it, but, a survey is always nice.
Yeah, absolutely. What questions do savvy buyers ask that less experienced buyers never think to ask?
It's a hard one. Because pretty much all of our buyers are savvy.
No, I get, the market's changed in the past, 5 years, 10 years. When lots were going for 100,000, people had a different series of questions. Now that they're 500,000,
yep.
It's much more detailed series of questions.
Yeah, because 99% of the buyers here, they're buying an asset for the most part to their portfolio, but they're looking ahead more. They're not looking at that house and saying, I love that for me. They might be looking at, okay, what is in this house? What will other buyers like about it whenever, say, I do decide to sell it or whatnot? They're looking to the next person versus just themselves. I think is a real big one. And they're really getting down to numbers. If they might not even want to look in an older house because the insurance is going to be outrageous on it or very, very expensive. They might, go in certain areas, whether they be more conventional or less conventional.
Okay.
But there's not a bad question, I guess, but I think they're just being more intentional.
Well, going back to what you said about the buyers looking future tense, what percentage, how much emotion goes into this? Because I know, part of, some of the experience when people are going and looking at houses is, the husband or the wife or, the partner looks at the other person and says, this is the one, but the numbers still have to work. How much of the emotion side of it goes into it? Is it just the beginning? Is it, is it throughout the process of, maybe if the numbers are super close, but they really feel good about this one? How much emotion takes place?
There's still a lot of emotion, because at the end of the day, there's usually a large check that has to be written.
Right.
And I think the emotion is what engages them, I would say, to continue the process. And I mean, engagement, it's everything. It's from, we need to engage to go look at properties, we need to engage to write offers. And I would say that there still is a lot of emotions. I mean, a couple weeks ago, we looked at a house and there were butterflies in the yard, and that was the wife's sign. And
that's awesome.
The house is under contract now.
That's awesome.
So there's a lot of emotions that do go into it, but more from a realistic standpoint, I would say.
Right. How do rental potential and resale values factor into the buyer decisions, even when the home is intended as a primary or secondary residence?
Even if somebody says that they don't really care about rental income,
they do.
They still care about it.
Right. But how much of that? How much does that factor in?
I would say more than you think, because it provides flexibility. Especially if you're in, let's just take out non-rental communities, but we all have events in our life.
Life-changing events happen.
And it gives you the ability to rent it out if you want to cover your costs on it. And two, when you're reselling, there's really 3 buyer pools: full-time, secondary, rental. Okay, well, if you can attract 3, sometimes that's, better off for you.
Right.
In the end.
What advice would you give buyers who are nervous about time in the market?
it's probably going to cost you more money.
One of the things that people have been asking me for a decade plus, where they go, well, have construction costs come down now? And it's like, well, no, why would they? They're like, well, home prices have fluctuated. Well, that doesn't mean the construction costs. Like, you go into Lowe's, they don't start selling lumber based on what home sales are doing.
That's it. I mean, well, the saying is, when's the best time to plant a tree? Well, 10 years ago. When's the next best time? What's right now?
Right.
And if we continue to wait, it's factually going to cost you more money.
Right. From your perspective, how does a strong builder-realtor relationship ultimately protect the buyer?
It's probably going to save them money, which is always good. It's going to save them time, and it goes back to the alignment that is important. Are we able to solve problems before they become problems?
Right.
A lot of times. If you're working together, you're not having to translate two worlds, the realtor world and the builder world, having to translate those two things to a buyer. I mean, that's where the building process gets stressful.
No, I agree.
And, if you could both work together, ultimately to your advantage.
If someone's just starting out their 30-day home journey, what's the smartest first step that they should take?
Pick up the phone and give me a call. There's so much resources out there, Recently somebody went on ChatGPT and just said, explain 38 to me. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. And I mean, the resources are endless, but make a call and you might not even know what you're looking for. So it's good to have a conversation.
Okay, so starting out with a conversation.
Yeah, of course.
Patrick, I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Chris, Fox Construction, Tailored Custom Homes, Patrick Ambrose. Appreciate y'all watching this. And if y'all have any questions, give Patrick a call. Thanks.